We are master students in Transportation and Information Technology program. So we were very enthusiastic when we were presented with this project. And before we came with our idea, before coming with our idea, we try to see what are the challenges that transportation is facing in Stockholm City. So we had to go through the Stockholm City Plan and also the SUMP, Sustainability Urban Mobility Plan of Stockholm. And we saw that Stockholm Stad puts an emphasis on increasing the speed of bus routes, because improving this perspective will also lower the travel time, and also it will satisfy the high demand for travel, because Stockholm City is a city that in the future is going to expect a growth of population. So one of the topics that we got out as a transportation challenge were the reduction of private car ownership, promotion of active transportation like cycling and walking, improvement of public transport services, provision of better mobility options, and decarbonization of the transport. So everyone knows this picture, is familiar, and this is where our idea focuses. So we chose the area of the district of Spånga-Tensta. It is in an area in the north of Stockholm, and is surrounded by different areas like Tensta, Bakarby, and two others, Swedish names. We have a bus passing through these areas. It's the bus 179, the blue bus. The characteristics of the bus is that it has a high demand, a high number of stops. We can see it's 17. From its starting point from Sollentuna station till Vällingby station, the duration of it is 48 minutes, which is quite long, also calculating that there are also 17 stops. And the population is a mixed population. So what we propose is that we exchange the current bus with a BRT line, which will increase the speed of this bus, and which will be fed by a pod network. These pod networks will be distributed in the areas around the bus, the BRT line, and they will feed the main line, as is shown there. So.
Okay, thank you once again. Before delving into my presentation, I would first like to say thank you on behalf of me and my group mates. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. In addition, we thank ITRL for letting us participate in this competition, and also Stockholm Stad for sponsoring us to this UIDC contest. As my friend Elda said, we are sponsored by Stockholm Stad, so we asked them to give us challenge that they are currently facing. So they told us they want to increase the core bus route 179. So it's also under EU-centric project. And Stockholm Stad is aiming to reduce the travel time by 10%. So they asked us to come up with a solution that can reduce the travel time by increasing the speed of bus route 179. So in order to address this challenge, me and my groupmate have suggested a solution, which is a combination of autonomous bus rapid transit and group rapid transit. So far, we know about the bus rapid transit, but for our sake, we make it autonomous bus rapid transit. And we integrate this with group rapid transit, which we can call them personal rapid transit or Podcars. So in order to address this challenge, we proposed the combination of these two systems. These two systems, the combination system, will run in trunk feeder network scheme. So the trunk line, which is bus 179, which travels from the Sollentuna station to Vällingby, will be the BRT line. Then it will be fitted by pods from the pod webs. So we want to adopt the trunk feeder route scheme for our idea. Since the ultimate objective of the contest is to design public transport and also to further investigate the planning aspect of public transport, we try to analyze our proposed idea from various comprehensive public transport planning elements. In the multimodal public transport planning section of our report, by the way, we are told to present our idea in 5 minutes, so we try to give you the highlights of it. And if you want to read further, I think Krista will provide you the report. In the multimodal public transport planning section of the report, we try to describe the characteristics and the features of the transit modes involved in our system. Those are Podcars and the autonomous bus. And in the fair planning policy section of the report, we try to address, are we going to adopt a new system in order for the passenger access the system, or we are going to use the existing SL system? Even though we suggest the usage of existing SL system, we have discussed about the fare setting and the fare-related aspect of the planning section in this part of our report. In the network planning, we try to emphasize the network planning components of the public transport, which are the trunk line, the feeder network, the offline pod station, and the ABRT terminal. In order to reduce the travel time, one of the mechanisms that we have suggested was off-boarding payment in the BRT station as well as in the offline pod station. All this and related aspects are included in the network planning. And also, how frequent should the system be and travel pattern of the ports? How are we going to handle the peak hour demands and the off-peak hour demands? Such kind of related concept, including the travel timetable, are included in the section of our report. We believe that in order to tackle transportation problem, a single strategy cannot address it. Instead, a set of strategy with strong policy support should be implemented in order to address the challenges. With this regard, we have suggested 2 policies, such as the parking pricing policy in order to reduce the personal vehicle usage, and also vehicle movement restriction in our pod car zones. So all this and such policies are included here. The last but not the least, we also try to look into the land use planning aspect of public transport in order to get the best out of our idea. And if Stockholm municipality is planning to construct a new residential area, we suggest them to adopt transit-oriented development. So basically, we try to analyze our proposed idea, the integrated system, from various public transport planning elements. And finally, we try to assess it from various assessment criteria, such as from the environmental aspect. Is it environmental friendly? Yes, our system is environmentally friendly because both of the transit modes are fully automated and they are clean vehicles, so it's environmentally friendly and there's no greenhouse gas emission. And also economic-wise, we're not planning to adopt the GRT, the Group Rapid Transit System, in its own exclusive paths or guideways. Instead, we suggested the usage of those Podcars in the existing road network so that we don't have huge initial investments. And also, since it's driverless, the operating cost will also reduce significantly. We also try to assess it from technical perspective, and we think that it's technically feasible because we know that the BRT system individually is implemented in many countries, as well as we are seeing the fruits of Podcar system implementation. So we can implement the integrated system as both of them individually are feasible. The other assessment criteria that we try to see is the social. Since it will reduce the accident, we will gain a number of social benefits. how are we going to implement our idea, such kind of implementation scenarios, and the function of port cars during off-peak hours will be presented by Islam.
Thank you, Aregay. Actually, I will take it from what you have stopped at of reduced prices, and also, is it visible to have this technology? A very interesting article like just 2 days ago in BBC, it was talking about, you might have already bought your last car, and it's just so close to happen. And if you see this autonomous taxi, it actually fulfills your needs for on-demand transport from door to door with so much more cheaper price and much more comfort. And they had like a very nice reminder of us with New York. Do you see this street? This is like something happened there. You can see a single car there. Maybe it was their boat, right? And just 10 years later, that street had no horses at all. So it might be that close. It is that visible. And when you meet the demand for the people, you can see how technology is booming. It's just like Uber. Uber came out of nothing, and then everyone is using it because it fulfills a need that was not being fulfilled by conventional public transport. So I was just reminded that I only have 2 minutes, so I will just try to be quick. As Aregay mentioned, we have different alternatives of how we can meet the people's needs from door to door. So we have this bod webs, different bod webs linked by the EBRT bus line, but we also people would think of travel time as well. So how we can reduce the total travel time from door to door. We thought of like, we have that dwell time at bus stations is something like much of consuming time and contributes to the whole travel time of the bus. And then we thought of making 2 alternatives by reducing the 17 bus stop to 9 in one alternative. That's alternative 1. And also maybe from 9 to only 5 stops. In each bus zone, we have only single central bus stop. And we didn't really come to very close conclusion of which is better, because this needs more studies of how far are we reducing travel time if we reduced from 17 to 9 or 9 to 5. It needs to be further studied. So here a closer look to the area, to the model area, and we have here 4 places. We have one center intermodal station. The line was running before is running through the bud areas, stopping like 6 times. Now it's only stopping 1 time and avoiding going through the residential areas. The noise from tires, from the engine and everything will be avoided. But we have also pros and cons in accessibility and active, how that will affect active transport. And to make it more simple, like this is the 4 areas. Tenista is our model area. And we have proposed that the bus line will just come in here in this intermodal station and be connected with all the bots to all the different destinations. Finally, in the last 1 minute, we sort of the different uses: on-demand transport, the freight transport, and we put some lines there because we don't know really how far can we have so many alternatives for the use of the bots. So just closing, I would again thank the UIDC, Stockholm Stad, data from Travelverket, and also our colleague Mohammed El Moussa for all his contribution. And thank you all for listening.